afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. If y'all can hear me, please let me know in the chat. I'm checking on something really quick. Sorry for being late. I had a phone call I couldn't avoid, much as I wanted to. Let me pull up chat so I can see what you guys are doing. Hey, welcome in, everybody. Can you guys hear me? I'll wait. Thank you, Tricia. Welcome in, by the way. Always good to have you here. Forrest, thank you. And Butterfly. I don't know if Rach has got here with us yet, but she'll be along. Danny, welcome in. Stephanie, there you are. Rocket, good to have you back. We're glad you found our community. Sarah, welcome in. Keith, welcome in. All right, guys, I just had something sent to me that I need to check really quick before I say anything. So let me mute out for 1 second, please. I'll be right back. Okay. I don't know what in the hell is going on in this world anymore. Apparently, I don't even know how to approach that at this point, so I'll shelf that for a minute. Let me make a note of that, though. Because I really feel extremely nervous today. I feel extremely nervous for Miss Nancy. I feel extremely nervous about those ridiculous letters everybody's flipping out about. Because having a conversation about legitimacy of those letters cannot be had, apparently. I feel extremely nervous. Oh my goodness, my phone was on and I didn't mean for it to be on. I'm trying to pull the chat up so I can see. Guys, this is not going to be a long live because I really don't. I've got some things to say and talk about, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about all day long about all the crap I'm seeing all over the internet because I'm done with it. I'm done with the distractions. I'm done with people not doing their due diligence and their own homework. Now, I will say this. TMZ, I don't know what you guys are doing, sharing these ransom notes. And apparently you got another one. Thought you weren't going to talk about it no more, but apparently you got another one. You're going to have a big show here in a little bit about it. And this one is a very sophisticated letter that directly involves the media. Y'all better pay a fucking attention. Quit chalking it up to some crappy internet freak because we do not know that. Do any of y'all have proof that it's fake? Or is it just your gut telling you it's fake, it's TMZ? What I don't approve of TMZ doing is following an innocent man around an airport who took his children out of town to get them away from the madness. And in case y'all missed it, he didn't just fly in from Florida and show up for his wife. He flew to Florida Thursday night to take the kids out of the madness. And then he flew back to his wife. Research it. I knew about it when he left and took the kids, but I didn't put it out there because it wasn't nobody's fucking business. They're children. Can you imagine? Your grandma's missing. Your mother is upset. She's trying to be a mother while worried about her own mother. There's a media circus. It's all over the TV. It's probably not a healthy environment for littles or young children. Now, when one of y'all finds some proof that family did anything nefarious, y'all bring it to me. Until then, stop it, please. You're allowed to think what you want and do what you want, but I got nothing. But I can tell you, I'm going to remind y'all one more time, Idaho victims are still being drugged to this day and accused of causing their own murders, even though there's a motherfucker sitting in prison for it who said, I did it. I went hard for those Idaho 4 victims. I got shunned from several communities and came at the reason I wear an avatar to this day. And Miss Thing over there telling your people, do not trust the people behind an avatar. I can't trust the ones who are showing their faces because I've seen what they're doing behind the scenes. Now, all of a sudden, after I bring up Rebecca Schaefer days ago, people are talking about it. Not just low-life internet people, but those people with really giant platforms are now talking about the possibility. I'm no longer willing to entertain botched robbery gone wrong unless you're going to tell me they were trying to hit the house next door for the gems. So they get into Miss Nancy's and they're like, oh, wait, wrong house, no gems. Let's just steal the lady instead. Not, let's just leave and go next door. Tie her up. She can't make a phone call. Somebody will come along later and find her. We got to get next door and get the goods. We're at the wrong house. No, they just changed their minds and stole the lady instead. Okay, that makes a ton of sense. But what I will say about that gem show, I'm going to clarify something I said yesterday. The gem show, the Tucson Gem Show, was February 13th through the 15th. But the mineral and fossil show started January 28th and ran through February 15th. 3 months prior, Savannah releases a video coming home. Could the gem show provided the perfect cover? The mineral show, starting in January 28th. Nancy goes missing January 31st. How come we can't explore that theory, but we can talk about a botched robbery in SA all day long? Is this too much to wrap our heads around? We got to chalk it up to something simple every time. It's not always that simple, right? There's nothing simple about going into a house and murdering 4 individuals. He had his reasons. Somebody went in that house and targeted Miss Nancy. Was the Fossil, Mineral, and Gem Show the great cover? Slip right into town with hundreds of thousands of people. Do y'all know how many vendors come from all over the world to that show? I'm willing to show y'all a video from that gem show. And about the 2 people who stole from the gem show. 2 thieves who steal from gem shows are going to steal a lady. A random lady at that. Or did they steal her and then steal from the gem show too? And then sold the gem they stole and then sold her too? Make it make sense, because I don't. Because apparently people who live in the house next door, gem show dealers or something, I don't know them. They could have been, it was at an Airbnb. We don't know. I'm sure there are some people on the internet who know by now, but I haven't deep dove it because what the fuck? I want to explore possibilities and have serious conversations about those instead of getting sidetracked with all this other crap. Now, about the little card stuck in the door, apparently somebody called and reported Miss Nancy was missing, and the services ran down there and stuck a card in the door. Okay, that don't make no sense either, because I don't guess they watched the news or realized she was missing. Maybe when she turns up, she'll come back. Let Tucson figure out their madness and why their agencies are running around doing ridiculous shit. I can tell you. Couldn't explain it. I'm not going to sit here and let that take up all my headspace, for 24 hours trying to figure that out. Miss Nancy was being abused. Again, let's blame this sheriff and this big old media tour he took yesterday. Justin Lum, shout out, Bubba, because you got me the goods. What he pulled with Brian Enton was disgusting. Turned into a big word salad in a wasteful 10 minutes. A wasted 10 minutes on purpose by the sheriff. Because he didn't want to get asked hard questions by Brian Enton. But Justin Lum got something out of him. And that's the only part about those interviews that he did that interested me yesterday. I didn't go around scouring all the little bits and clips he did. I saw a few. I took the ones that were important and I left the word salad alone because I'm so over that man and his word salad. Now, let me ask y'all another question. Y'all, please chime in because I want to hear what y'all have to say. Now, Justin's a good reporter, Rach, but coming in game a little bit late. They're all good reporters. I have no favorites out there. Discovered Justin Lum during the Lori Vallow trials. He's a reporter. They all do what they do, right? He just happened. The sheriff just happened to say it to him. It's not like Justin got it. It's just the sheriff. It just happened that way. But I'm thankful that it did, right? Sheriff didn't know what he was doing as usual. But then again, can I take anything that man says to the bank and deposit it? I doubt it. But I'm going to ask y'all again, what's wrong with that DNA in that house? Apparently, something is wrong with it. Because there's no way in hell you're going to ignore that DNA from the crime scene and worry all this worry about a glove 2 miles away. Because that glove 2 miles away is problematic when you go to court. And why are we still hearing this talk about IgG from a glove 2 miles away? Because I guarantee you that's a huge, huge problem. And maybe I need to hold my other Idaho 4 live stream and go over all the court documents again that Ann Taylor filed about IgG. And we'll see how deep that really goes and how it really works if people want to go there. Since, we're so well informed. Now I want to play you the clip that he did with Justin. I have a picture. Let me see. I'm going to show you guys because we all saw it and heard about it. That Ring camera right there, Ring, says RING right there, Ring, is pointing toward the front door of that home, not the street, not the garage parking pad area. Did it ever turn and face the other direction? I don't know. Were they calibrating this machine? What's he doing on the ladder with his phone and looking at this? Was he calibrating a machine? Was he downloading information from the camera? Did somebody creep around this house? I don't know why they're going back and doing what they're doing. I doubt the FBI just now decided, oh, y'all got a camera? Let us come look at it. Because I'm pretty sure the word's been out for fucking weeks. Anybody in the area with a camera, please contact the authorities. This next door neighbor decided, nah, we're not going to do that. And then they just found out, oh, you know what? That neighbor never told us about their camera. That's sus. That would be sus. But there's definitely a Ring camera there, but it appears to point directly to the front, and the front of that home does not face the street, right? It just, all you got to do is look at a map and know the camera's pointing at the front door. Why they were there? Couldn't tell you. Why they went back and took the white cameras off the guest house? Couldn't tell you why they're doing all that stuff. I've heard the possible explanations from former FBI agents, right? And before we get started, let's look at this one thing here. The DNA from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. The DNA that was submitted to CODIS was from the set of gloves found 2 miles away. It did not trigger a match in CODIS and did not match any DNA at the property. The DNA found at the property is being analyzed and further testing needs to be done as part of the investigation. Do you have solid DNA from that house, sir? Apparently you don't. Not if y'all going to talk about this glove DNA and doing some IgG on it. Where's the IgG on the DNA from the house? Because I guarantee you in a court of law, that's going to fucking matter. If Brian Koberger had been the first guy ever to be found out by IgG, it would have been a huge problem. But he wasn't. There's strict guidelines on how you do it. Exactly, Simi. I've known that. CC from the IGG said they wouldn't waste IGG on something that isn't confirmed part of the crime scene. I have always known that. I tried to express that a few days ago on the show. I don't know why so I don't know where that's even coming from with the media. They're focused on that glove, so that if they're going to do anything to that glove, the FBI better be damn sure it matches the guy on the front porch. You better be damn sure. Not just the possibility it was exclusively sold at Walmart or bought online. But you better be damn sure. Go ask Bob Motta. Y'all don't believe me. If he'll answer your question without skirting around it with a bunch of other answers, like, I don't ever trust law enforcement. Well, no shit. That wasn't my question. That wasn't the question, sir. I already knew that. I'm over these. My God. All right. So what's wrong, again, with this DNA from the house? Let's look and see what he told to Justin. Let me get the screen up here. Y'all, please just overlook my mood. I'm trying with this one. I'm trying to keep an open mind, and I cannot sometimes with the amount of crap we see. And everybody wants to act like there's not a missing lady who deserves it. It's just more fun to talk about the bullshit. All right, let's get Nano up here, because I really want to puke when I see him. So I try to ignore his bizarre behavior. I want to hear what he had to say about the DNA.
I know you're giving us limited time, and I appreciate it, with this investigation so fluid. But I want to go back a little bit early on. You said your gut told you that Nancy was taken from her home and that she is still alive at that time. What does your gut tell you now about the entry to the home? And was there forced entry? Or did she know the person that took her? What do you think now?
Okay, so I'm not going to get into the entry of the home or forced entry or any of that. What I'll tell you is I believe, just as I had initially, that Nancy was removed from that home against her will. She was kidnapped, and we still believe.
We didn't think she went willingly. Fucking no-brainer.
That.
How do you piece together the 40 minutes inside that home, after the doorbell camera disconnected? I mean, really, no idea still?
There's all kinds of thinking on that and theories. And to be honest, you don't want the sheriff's theories.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
You want the investigators, because they're the ones who actually physically know the evidence, what they've collected, gathered, that crime scene. They were there. They're doing all the interviews. I have a team of young men and women who do this every day. I hear the pundits that, the crime scene should have been done, should have been held longer. Look.
Can we not discuss all your missteps? I don't want to hear about y'all look at me differently now. I don't want to hear none of that. Because so this media tour was a bunch of excuses. You wanted to be told, you wanted to be able to come out and express how you owning your little bit of mistakes, but by God, we're doing our job. Will y'all quit wasting their time with their 10 minutes that you allotted and let them ask you a real question. You give a quick, simple, short, concise answer and move the fuck on.
This team of mine has done this type of investigation, homicides, for example, for decades. They have one of the highest solvency clearance rates in the country. Sometimes they get that case that you think will never be solved done in a day. They're very good. They're very well trained. They know what they're doing. I don't go and tell them, okay, we've been here long enough, let's go home. They spent over 20 hours at that scene processing it. They, along with forensic techs who are trained, process these scenes. Then they decide that they're done. They came here with all of their evidence. Some of the evidence we gave to the FBI. Why did we do that? Well, because we know the FBI is good with certain pieces of evidence, that they have the technological skills to deal with things like cameras and phones and different things. And we handed that to them. Ransom notes, gave them to the FBI. We use a lab that we've used again for decades.
I'm going to fast forward him to the part I want in just a second, because this is ridiculous.
For DNA. We submitted all of our biological evidence to that lab.
And you stand by that lab. I mean, was there any
Well,
pushback by the
absolutely.
FBI on
No,
that decision?
absolutely not. No, in fact, that's the point is FBI, the reason the FBI was part of this investigation immediately is we have members of our organization working with the FBI assigned to their building and have for decades. And they're the same here. So they were never not a part of this investigation. They were always a part of it. And to suggest that the sheriff blocked evidence, that's just crazy. We processed that scene. We went out and did a search warrant in Rio Rico, processed that scene, and the FBI found a glove. Hey, Sheriff, we're going to send this to Quantico and we'll check on DNA. I said, well, why do that? All of our DNA, all of it is at our lab. We'll just send it to ours. They said, makes sense, thank you.
Mixed up there. What about the sample inside the home? What's the status of those results, the
Same
testing?
thing. It's the same thing. I prioritized the home, that's our crime scene, well above anything found 2, 3, 4, 5 miles away. And we still have work to do there too.
Okay. It seems, Sheriff, that the department is almost like drowning in data. You have investigators have received 40,000 and 50,000 tips, at times 5,000 an hour between you and the FBI. I mean, logistically, how does an agency decide, even with the FBI's help, effectively sift through that volume and make sure that the golden tip doesn't fall through the cracks?
Well, you have, first of all, there are resources out there that will collect that data and sort through it for you and put it and prioritize it however you want it to be prioritized. Those programs exist.
Hold on, let me take this down. I'm going to get right to where I want to be, because I cannot with the rest of this mumbo jumbo stuff that we already know. Sorry. I'm multitasking at the same time, guys. I got somebody steadily blowing up my phone, and it's just a slightly bit distracting, but I'm trying. Oh. Stop. All right, let me get right back here to it and pull it right up. Who do y'all think stole Miss Nancy? Random guy in the night? Just happened to find an old lady and it looked tempting. All right, let me scroll through here real quick and I'll get it right there. Okay. Here we go. Let's get this conversation going. Okay, I think this is where I need it to be.
You go the
We have
genetic
more
genealogy route?
Well, absolutely, you do that, but we have other DNA evidence from the scene that is more critical to me than something found 2 miles away. All of that, though, will still be submitted for further analysis. That's, you take a fingerprint and you hope to match it right away, but that's not that easy. You have to have so many points of characteristics that match on that fingerprint. DNA is no different. You have to have the DNA, have to have so many hits of lodi to make a comparative match. All of those things. Sometimes DNA is mixed. We have DNA from that scene that is a mixture of DNA.
We have DNA from that scene that is a mixture of DNA, and you don't got enough Lodi to even upload to CODIS, and you have none to work with IgG. So what kind of mixture is in that home? Let's discuss in a minute if people are willing.
So we have to separate, hope the lab can do that, and still preserve some of that evidence in case the defense wants to test it. Should we make an arrest? All of those things are considered.
In case the defense wants to test it, buddy. Buddy. Hope Ann Taylor's not listening.
It is truly a complex process in gathering that evidence, submitting it, analyzing it, and then resubmitting it. So yes, you're correct. The next step of DNA for those pieces would be to submit for genealogy.
Not if you got a mixture and you don't got enough there. Familial, only my state will do familial DNA in state. FBI won't. So again, if that's true, because there's obviously a problem with the DNA from that house, is it even relevant to what happened that night? Yes, the shirt that was found outside, the blue shirt, does belong to Nancy. It was sniffed for her scent for the tracking dogs, and apparently people are careless and they just leave it there. In fact, more food was ordered there yesterday for JLR. He's not starving. The man's got a little money in his pocket. I saw him pull out money and give it to the homeless lady. So I wish people would stop sending the boots on the guy, grounds on the guy food, because he looks like he might need a meal. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not down there to stop everybody from wandering up on the property. Apparently this delivery guy got yelled at by everybody on the street before he got into the yard. Who knows? I could care less, but people need to stop it. We've got weirdos on the internet thinking it's a good idea to order food and send to a crime scene. Instead of encouraging your people not to do that, we just laugh about it. I could care less what he's making, Asha. Honestly, it's nothing. That shit has nothing to do with me, right? I don't know what he does. This is not his first rodeo. This ain't the first time he's went all boots on the ground. It's just par for the course. It's just you should discourage the behavior. That's all. People can go watch what they want and hear. Thankfully, I wasn't having that live stream up when some shit was said live, because turns out I knew who that was saying that to JLR, whatever his name is. All I can say is wisen up, dude. Wisen up. I'm not going to fill you in. Now, possible mixtures of DNA. What could that possibly be? Anybody have any ideas in chat? Y'all put on your forensic crime scene hat for a moment. Anybody got any ideas of what kind of mixtures we could be looking at? Biological mixtures? Okay, I'll start. Do we have saliva from the flashlight? Spit? Good one, Stephanie. Would he spit in the house? You know what I mean? Some people are just like spitters by habit. Could he have been yelling and spit fell out of his mouth? Right? I'm more along the lines of saliva from the flashlight. Maybe transferring from his glove onto a handle. Doorknob, maybe. I don't know how it would have got there. Did he drop the flashlight into the scene? If he did, we got a good DNA sample. Not a mixture. Not unless he shared his flashlight with his cohorts and they all put it in their mouth. You think so, Keith? That's a good call. Could be at least an investigator on scene and a lab tech in that mixture. And we learned in the Idaho 4 case, they try to separate all that out. If you were in that crime scene investigators have their DNA. We unpacked that in documents in Idaho 4. Right, from the flashlight. What else? Anything else? Blood. Very good. Did Nancy have a struggle with him in the house? When she got here, did she hear noise? We're talking 40 minutes on scene. We don't know that they were in that house 40 full minutes, but they were on the property apparently that long. Did she hear something in her house and wake up startled and make her way to the kitchen, living room, whatever, and startle them? They start each other, basically. Was more than one inside the house? Saliva from the flashlight. Blood. What about semen? Since people want to run wild with the SA theory. Only way you're going to prove SA occurred in that house or was attempted is to prove there's semen in that house. Because I doubt an 84-year-old woman's got semen floating around all these years later. Her husband's been dead for decades. Not saying she didn't have a boyfriend from time to time, but really, I don't think Miss Nancy would have dirty ass sheets on the bed. Fingerprint, handprint, palm print, a hair. What's wrong with that DNA in the house? There's something wrong with it. Because they wouldn't be focused on this stupid glove 2 miles away that I know a defense attorney is going to have a field day with when they march into court with it. Because you get to that guy, based on that, you better find digital evidence and anything in their house, wherever they live, their car, to tie them to that scene other than a glove 2 miles away. So if all these talking heads got everybody banking on that glove is going to find the guy, I don't know about that. An eyelash. That's a good one, Karen. But he had on that mask, and the only thing there was his eyes, right? Did he rub it with it? How hard would it be for crime scene investigators to find an eyelash? Of course, we don't know how great these crime scene investigators were. I'm not going to say that entire department is shitty because the sheriff is. I can't make that call. It sounds like his own deputies were having issues with him. So I'm not going to blame these deputies, right? Facial hair stuck on the outside of the mask and maybe fell off. Do we have a follicle on the hair? Look, I've been through Delphi. Hairs, tested and untested. Rex Heuermann, if y'all aren't paying attention, hair follicles are about to come into play. Or do we have a follicle to develop a profile? We don't know what kind of DNA is in that house. And people want to come on the internet and say, well, they put it into CODIS. If they did, they didn't tell us. Because the word salad from the sheriff is 1 minute it went to CODIS and 1 minute it didn't. But if you don't got a good enough sample and you got a mixture, it never made it to CODIS. That's why y'all relied heavily on the glove. So if we take off robbery gone wrong, SA, what's left? Kidnapped for what? Take ransom off the table. So is it a stalker who wanted to get back at Savannah Guthrie? Are they watching all this out? We know now in documents Koberger was watching shit all over the YouTube about himself. I said when Sebastian Rogers was kidnapped and all this shit show that unfolded for 8 solid months, y'all are giving The guy who took Sebastian everything he needs to get away right now. Because the only ones talking about that case was social media. What better way to go monitor a situation than watch it on social media? So if Sebastian Rogers wandered away that night because he needed a friend and a friend befriended him and, come meet me outside, well, there you go. I don't know why that was so hard for everybody to understand either. Just because the cops can't find who did it, I have never taken that off the table yet. Sebastian found a friend that was willing to listen. But whoever that person was, if that happened, they just had a field day with social media. They're not looking for me because they're all blaming each other at this point. So I don't know what this person could learn except for, oh, they got my fit. He now knows we got an image. Right, Keith, who wanted her out? We heard that. I read a big article and I listened to what another report, how she went away for her vocal cord surgery and the nastiness of the behind the scenes NBC backstabbers. We're talking about how the ratings went up while she was away and her co-host filled in, or whoever filled in, I don't know. Ratings went up. We don't want her back. Well, she came back. Did somebody want her off the Olympics show? Why would they want to do that? Was she going to get there and make bad calls about the Olympics? I don't even watch those Olympics. So what is so big deal about? I can't. That's a stretch for me. I'm going to tie it more to the Today Show. An obsessed fan. Or a disgruntled fellow employee, not like a major, like I'm talking intern or somebody who felt slighted. Are they smart enough to pull this off? This guy's pulled it off, guys. He's pulled it off. How much planning did that person take? How much thought did they put into it? Were the original ransom letters for real? And because they could not show proof of life, they never communicated back? That's the very first two original letters. We're not talking about those anymore. The media is barely talking about them. Is that what the FBI wants? Let's get them talking about something else because we're doing some serious investigation over here. I don't know, Keith. I feel like if it was somebody who was monitoring all that, they would know. They would maybe try to know. They're keeping an eye on her too. Travel and stuff. Would she? I mean, hell, everybody's, well, that's following the dad around is one thing. I guess that's TMZ's business. Did they think Savannah was going to be there and they went to take her and got her mom instead? I don't know they would take the mom instead unless they were like, okay, well, I couldn't get you, so I'll get back at you with taking her. I mean, that's a plausible thought. But I know it just feels like they knew when he bites the light to step up on the step. He's done recon on this home before. And I'm not going to sit here and say he had to be from Tucson. Right? I know Delphi, Indiana better than I should. I know Moscow better than I fucking should. I don't live in those states. But I can damn sure tell you where a lot of things are around their towns. Google Maps, floor plans are available online. How did Koberger know to move around that house so efficiently? Oh, I don't know. Floor plans are all over the fucking internet. You got to think like a criminal sometimes to figure out the criminal. Am I wrong? Or I get it. Some of y'all don't know how to think like a criminal. Maybe I'm not a criminal, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you they ain't one in the family somewhere. I got a giant family. I might know a thing or two. Oh, I know, Keith. I know. I knew what you were doing, buddy. But when I seen that, I was like, man. But the people that chimed in didn't know, right? And that's the thing about this stuff. It's like it's gotten to the point to where I just want to have conversations about legitimate possibilities, and I don't know why we can't right now, right? Without getting past robbery gone wrong. We got to keep it real simple because that's much easier to understand. But if you're going to go, if you're going to die on the hill, why take her? Even if you entered the home to assault her, what was the point of taking the whole body? Oh, you think like no body, no evidence. That's pretty risky to take the whole body away and get. What if you got pulled over down the road and you got this body in your car? A dead one. Because why else you going to take her? You got a mask on. You zip tie her. You got all this stuff in your backpack. You didn't bring no rope to tie her up while you robbed her house? I know, exactly, Keith. The Tepe house was all over Zillow. You can't get Nancy's floor plans now. It's so easy for these criminals to figure some of this stuff out, and people need to. And when I heard it's 2026, people, not 1952. That lady said nobody locks their doors around here. Y'all ain't learned your lessons yet. Are we still not locking doors in 2026 with all these maniacs running around? Who who does that? Y'all ain't locking your doors at night? Y'all don't think about it? When you lay your head on the pillow at night, do you think, did I shut all the windows and lock them? Did I lock the doors? Guess who does? I have to get up and go double check sometimes. Because I ain't trying to die in my sleep. And if you make your way into my house, I'm going to lay and wait. I'm sound asleep in my bed until you get to my bed. And then I got a surprise for you. And I can lay there and I can pretend to be asleep till you get all the way to my bed. And you're going to be the one with the surprise in just about 2 seconds. I guarantee it. So if y'all are not locking your doors, I'm from tiny town America. I lock my doors. I suggest y'all all start doing the same and quit living in a world where we don't need to lock the doors. My neighborhood is safe. Because I don't care what neighborhood you live in, you're not safe. If you're leaving your doors unlocked and you think nothing of it because you're absent-minded and I don't think about that stuff, you're inviting it in when it happens at this point. Why was this person there for 40 full minutes? Now, let me ask y'all this. According to the sheriff, there's other cameras, right, that Google hasn't been able to recover stuff from. I don't buy that for a second. They were able to recover something. But if this person who entered that home was unaware she had inside cameras, if those exist, we know there was a front door camera, a back door camera, and apparently some cameras on the guest house. What if there really were inside cameras and the person had no idea? They're only trying to mess with outside cameras. Now we're hearing that back camera wasn't taken. Why take just that front camera off? Because you knew you were going to take her out the front door and you didn't want that camera to capture that moment. So this one's got to go. Because the guy wasn't trying to cover up the camera with the brush. He was trying to use those vines to pull it from the bracket. We don't know if he succeeded or not. The video ends. So we don't know if his little vine trick popped that camera off or he had to come up with a secondary solution. Now, I know Ruiz has reported glass fragments down there, but it's hard to see them. I see blood and I see the brush he grabbed. But from the pictures I've seen and even zoomed in, it's really hard to tell if there's any little glass fragments, where he smashed it and then snatched it all off and just made a big mess. It wasn't going to be that hard to get it off. Did he take his glove off once if the brush didn't work? So what if he smashed it? He still took the whole camera. How did he get it off if his little vine trick didn't work? Did he pull off his gloves to get it? Because he was trying to get it off before he reached for the vines and he couldn't. Do we need to play the video again? I'm analyzing this stuff from the beginning back, and I'm rewatching stuff and I'm going through it again. And I don't want my head filled with what everybody else is telling me I'm supposed to be seeing, because I know what I saw the minute I first saw it. But everybody's like, oh, he's covering it up with brush. I'm like, well, maybe so, but how? Is it going to stick on it? Is there a little ledge where he can form it and it hangs on there? Because in my mind, I got to think, what would I do if I was him? I know damn well some brush ain't going to fix up there. And what if the wind blows? And what if I brush up against it and knock it off? There goes my cover. So I got to think beyond the simple stuff, right? It's time to start thinking bigger. Danny, like even the electrical box, I love it. You know, right? Yeah, I'm glad to see a lot of y'all are locking your doors. I mean, geez, I cannot believe that statement. Well, y'all got to understand, we just don't lock the doors. Hold on, hold on. I think someone's at my door. Hold on. Sorry about that. I about killed myself trying to get the door back. Oh, you look. I'm in my office, Keith, and my door was locked. Even my sister ain't getting in. I don't like to be startled. It's not. Look, I've got PTSD. Okay, my 19-year-old learned when he was 3, you can't sneak up on mama and boo and scare her. Because one time I slung around and I thought, whoa, whoa. So I had to have a talk with my child. He didn't do that to mama no more. We would play and we'd do things, but he never snuck up on me after that, because I can't guarantee what's going to happen when you sneak up on me. Sonic eyes for a dog. Yeah, I'm about to have my dogs back. Well, that sounded weird, but I'll explain later. I miss having a dog. Although I think my cat may attack somebody. I saw a Twitter post where a bear was trying to run up on a lady and her baby on the front porch, and he almost got there, but that cat turned around. And that cat's like, not today, bear. And I thought, well, damn, I've seen my cat do some crazy things. Like one time when my sister walked in, I thought my cat was going to attack her, and she did too. I was like, damn, I didn't know cats could do all that. I'm new. I'm a new cat person. I'm a cat grandma. I had to take care of my baby's cat. Right, butterfly. That's me. Look, I knew me and her be sisters from way back. We just don't. We are so much alike. You can come to my door and knock on my door. I do not care. I'm not answering it. I don't know who's on the other side. I'm not expecting anybody. Guess who's not home? I do it all the time. Well, in the country I didn't, because nobody ever came to my house. But my sister be having people, and I'm like, nothing to do with me. All right, so he did his interview with Brian Enton as well, guys, and he word saladed it. But he had It sounded like he wanted to interview Brian Enton, right? About the stuff Brian's been posting about him. You're more concerned. So you wasted the time of a top-notch reporter, the whole 10 minutes that was allotted, to question him about his reporting. That's concerning. It's concerning when the United States of America wants the media to stay silent and report what we tell you to report. That's third world country shit that I'm not going to get behind today. Just like I have to uphold the Constitution in every single case I cover, not just when it fits my narrative. What I didn't like yesterday, I still don't like today, like a glove found 2 miles away. That's why I chose that avatar butterfly. The minute I saw it, I was like, that ain't even joking. That is dead ass me. Y'all just don't know. And I thought, how perfect. That was like meant to be, right? Now, again, do y'all think that the Mineral and Fossil Show from January 28th all the way to February 15th could have been a good cover? Did they take Miss Nancy out on the 31st and take her back to their Airbnb and let things settle down a minute and then take her away? Or did they just take her from the house and go wherever they went? Did they cross the border? Because apparently to that gun shop owner, all the names on that list are Hispanic. I don't know for sure. And I still don't know how they got those names. I know it's been, supported with, well, they found the holster. So I guess they've proven where these holsters were all purchased, and they were all local purchases. It would have to be all local purchases if now they're going around to the local gun shows. Did somebody buy a gun? Here's some pictures and some names of people. You mind looking at them? I'm concerned about where they got them from and how they obtained them. FBI didn't want us to know this time they did that IgG on Koberger. But it was all there in discovery. The prosecution had to turn it over. This is how we got to your guy. Since you keep asking us, here's how. We saw what happened in the Vallow case, death penalty off the table for prosecutorial misconduct. Here you go, Ann. Please don't make a big deal about it, but we didn't do it, the FBI did. Now, I'm going to show y'all this. And it's part of the news, and we're going to look at it, and we'll get y'all's take on it. I know all y'all are already feeling some type of way. I can't take it off the table yet. Not until I get proven otherwise. Okay, when was this, an hour ago? Okay. Well, apparently something's changed because you're talking about it again when you said you weren't. So I'm going to listen, and I'm going to do it fairly. I'll give you a moment. Do I got it on? Okay.
Received yet another ransom demand, and this one is sophisticated and puts the media right in the middle of it. On the next TMZ Live, TMZ has received yet another ransom demand, and this one is sophisticated and puts the media right in the middle of it.
What does that mean? Remember, we weren't going to talk about this no more. We weren't going to do this anymore. What about this one's different? Did they make a demand that you come out and say it? Because it's time to start paying up to these people and seeing what they actually know. You already offered to do that, right? To be the middleman for the for the FBI since this guy's scared of the cops, because apparently he's a known criminal to the FBI. Why would he say, they don't trust me and I don't trust them? Because they already know who you are. They may not know you're the one writing the letter, but they know who you are, or you wouldn't be concerned about the FBI not trusting you. You think their faces say it all? Y'all think they're writing letters to themselves? Or some deranged internet person behind a keyboard? Which one is it? TMZ's doing it to themselves, or a weirdo on the internet? Look, I'm not a big fan of TMZ. I never have been. I was kind of it was forced upon me, especially in the David fiasco bullshit, Celeste David stuff. This is not the first time they do this, right? They do it all the time. They do it all the time. This time there's something different about it. So y'all all still think that TMZ is full of shit. They're not getting any letters, or they're doing it themselves. FBI can't figure that out. Harvey's got so good at his VPN coverage and hiding everything that the FBI can't figure out. He's writing them to himself. We'd think the FBI don't care. Did they look into this at all? Or they're like, that dumbass on the TV's claiming he got letters, but we're just going to ignore it. We're not even going to look at it. We don't care where it come from, Harvey. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Do we think the FBI feels that way? Did they look at it at all? Because if I'm a cop, I'm investigating it because I have to. Now, I'm aware nothing's come of it yet, but I'm going to have to ask you again, is the letter writer sitting in the United States of America? Because if he's not, it's a problem for the FBI. Y'all think they got the world's pass to jump on an airplane and fly wherever they want and make an apprehension? Publicizing is unnecessary unless there's something specific about the letter the person wants the media to know. And I guess I'll just watch it by myself later and see. Because right now, how can any of y'all take anything off the table? Legit, how can you take anything off the table? This particular letter writer doesn't have Ms. Nancy. Did y'all not understand? The very first two that came in demanding Bitcoin ransom, that is totally separate from all these other letters Harvey's receiving. The person sending the letters doesn't claim to have Nancy, but he claims to know who does. Are we okay? So take all of this off the table. Why would somebody take Miss Nancy if not for revenge on Savannah Guthrie? Anybody got any ideas? Let me take him off the screen because I don't pay no attention to their body language or what they look like. Like, I just don't. People are people. There's millions of people walking around looking some kind of way, and I just let people be them. I just try to ignore a lot of them, except for the elderly and children and animals. That's my jams. Regular ass people, I especially out in public, I don't know you from Adam, man. I'll smile, hi, how are you? Here's a door, kind of thing, very polite, but I don't need to get into heavy duty conversations, right? I don't know you like that. Didn't TMZ egg on with prove it? They told the letter writer to tell them the information, they'd relay it to the FBI. I've watched all the stuff they've talked about with the letters. It's so, okay, I can tell everybody in my community thinks these letters are just bullshit. Who's writing them? Harvey writing them to himself or the weirdo? Simi thinks it's a weirdo, and I appreciate you commenting. because it damn well could be. But here's my problem. Even if the letter writer is full of fucking shit, get your ass out of this case, man. There's a missing lady. And I got a problem with you writing letters to anybody, no matter what the letter says. How dare you? How dare you do that if you don't know anything? I'm not willing to accept that in society as the normal, because guess what's going to happen the next time something happens? Here comes the weirdos with their letters, and we're just going to be like, oh, there's another weirdo with their letter. This is par for the course. I want them caught regardless of who's sending them and regardless if the information's accurate or not. But you don't sit here and think for 1 second the FBI is not looking at that. But the fact that they haven't arrested anybody for any of these letters speaks volumes. Because I guarantee you they're not sitting in America. Like the guy in Cali. I could be dead ass wrong. What do y'all think? Y'all think they're within the United States borders? Do you think that this person is sitting within the United States? Why hadn't the FBI caught him yet? Unless they're just ignoring it like everybody else. Why would this person take just that front camera and possibly leave the other cameras around that home? The back camera, the ones on the garage, the guest house, and possibly ones inside. Why take just that front camera only? Because you didn't want it to show you bringing the lady out the front door? Because maybe they were unaware there were actually cameras in the house. Because if they got to the property beforehand and ever been able to do any kind of surveillance around there, nighttime creeping, whatever, they could go around the property and see where all the cameras are located, right? But when there be footage of them nosing around the property where the cameras were located at, because they didn't take them until the night Nancy was kidnapped. So if they went and did recon prior to that, is that where that one lone image comes from with the guy without the backpack and without his gun? Was he on recon that night? Wearing the same clothes? His murder suit? They bought at the Walmarts? They can't track yet? Another thing. It's all bought at Walmart. It's going to be... Well, apparently they're still looking into that, because I didn't see anybody on the internet being arrested today because of the paper trail they left at the local Walmart. Now, I'll give them a minute, run through the receipts, run through the video, timestamp it. This receipt says 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Let's go pull the footage from 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Register number 4. Who comes through register number 4? I guess I'll give them a minute to figure that out, since everybody's so convinced they purchased all their shit at the Walmart. Did they use gift cards like Brian Koberger? Did they go into the Walmart and buy them one of those prepaid gift cards? I doubt they ordered theirs on Amazon or whatever, but they probably could go into any store and pick up a prepaid card and slap money on it, right? With no paper trail. Damn it, hold on again. Fuck. Okay. I want to see y'all's theories other than ransom, whatever your theories may be, as long as it's not robbery gone wrong. I mean, I guess you can die on that hill if you want, but does it make sense anymore? You think that's the only reason, Simi? That they messed up so bad, that's why they can't catch the guy? So he's just a guy who got lucky in the night, right? BK absolutely almost got away with it, Carrie. If it wasn't for IGG, make no mistake about it, he probably would have got away with it because WSU didn't give a rat's ass. They knew things, and they knew that he had a car, and they never called Moscow and said a word. Shh. Wait till we give him that degree, and he moves on, and then he can do what he wants. He will not be our problem after that. Grainy car footage combined with a knife sheath tells me nothing. You can't put the car in the driveway, but you can put it near a house. But once they found out more evidence, then it kind of made sense, right? But before that, they didn't even know who drove the car. But a lot of the talking heads out there want to keep saying, and I'm talking not, let me rephrase that. A lot of the retired FBI people don't think this guy's so stupid. He didn't just get lucky. So far, he might have gotten lucky. Oh, my thing messed up. So what are y'all's theories if it wasn't a robbery gone wrong or sexual assault? If you want to, if that is your theory, that's fine too. You can say it. It's no big deal. But I don't see anybody sharing theories out. I just don't. And I really want to have conversations about the possibilities. What about a mixture of DNA? Why are we not hearing about this DNA being used for IgG? If it is, then the FBI has been able to take care of the mixture and separate them, but still has to be enough to do IgG with to start, right? The minute the FBI got that from Othram, they started their, well, Othram had already started the IgG and got down to the two brothers, the two cousins of Brian Kohberger. That's where it stopped. But when the FBI got it, it didn't take them no time, because everybody and their brother wants to upload that DNA, which that's fine. It got the killer. Now, if that sheath had been found 2 miles away, there's a problem. I don't forget what I've learned in other cases when the next case comes along, right? And I get they're not all cookie cutter and not all of the investigations are the same and all of that. But it's time to start thinking more. So again, the video coming home comes out in November of 2025. The Mineral and Gem Show starts January 28th. Nancy's abducted the 31st and has never been seen again. Was it a cover to slide into town when there's literally going to be a town full of outsiders? The 71st annual, in fact. And damn, they had some beautiful ass crystals there. I'm talking, I was like, what the fuck? I know a lady who goes every year. I watch her videos. She's live from the Tucson Gem Show. This year she didn't go. It's the first time she didn't go in years. She owns a large gem company. So I've always known about the Tucson Gem Show. I'm surrounded by crystals right now. This person was tagging her. Exactly. Not a robbery. That's what Carrie's thinking. Targeted. It absolutely was targeted. Even if, now some people wanted to lend credence to Brianna's reporting robbery gone wrong. The only way that's going to work is if they were targeting that house next door that might or might not have had some gem fossils in there. You would have had to have known the person in that home and known they had a house full of gems. And I don't think you would have went to the wrong house. If you did, you hired a stupid guy to do your bidding for you. Targeted and planned. Why? Why would someone go in there and just steal the lady? And when Savannah spoke in that last video, was she speaking directly to people? Are like, oh, she might know who it is. Maybe she's not sure who it is, but let me appeal to their empathy if I can. What if it was somebody trying to get at me? Let me try to appeal to that. People can make what they want about her videos. I'm not going to sit here and go at her yet because she didn't look a certain way or shed the right tear and her timing wasn't off and she stopped that. I saw people destroy Christy Gonzalez on the internet when I knew and I know still that woman's heart is crushed. She's unpacking Kaylee's belongings. And thank God, because she can start the process now. So I'm not going to sit here and go directly after a family, for I have no reason to. And if that was Tom at the front door or one of Tom's buddies, he would have had to communicate with them somehow, some way. Even if he deleted it, FBI would have found it by now, guys. I know Nanos says they're cleared, but the FBI didn't clear them. That doesn't mean they're still viable suspects. It just means, yeah, they were looked at. As always, the last person to see the person's going to be looked at. I guarantee y'all, if you go drop somebody off at home in a few hours and they get murdered, they're coming for you. And get prepared, Buttercup, because the internet's going to rip you to fucking pieces. They're going to go to your Facebook page and steal all your pictures. They're going to look you up all over the internet and plaster you and everybody in your little world, including your babies, all over the internet. Think about it. And you know how easy it is? In 1970 something, my cousin lived in a trailer park. She was like 19, her and her boyfriend. There was another guy that lived in there. My daddy is an avid deer hunter. He has owned many guns over my lifetime. He was going to sell this man a gun, a hunting gun. And he did. But he went back to get the money. Well, it's like payday or whatever. And I remember it. We were with him. We roll up. We're going to go visit our cousin while daddy talks to this man. So we roll up into the park. Cops are everywhere. Somebody immediately pointed at my dad's truck. That's the last truck we saw over here. Guess what happened? My dad don't have a record. My dad don't have a mean bone in his body. Those cops swarmed to that truck, wanting to know who he was and what his business was there. He just sold the man a gun and was there to pick up the payment. They sorted it out pretty quickly, but that's how fast it can happen. You got a neighbor next door, you went and loaned her some eggs or you borrowed some sugar and you were the last one in the house. And then that night, say it's 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, you were trying to make dinner. I need an egg. Run next door and get one from Miss Sally. Later that night, Miss Sally gets murdered. And you tell the cops, well, I was at Miss Sally's at 6 o'clock last night getting an egg. Oh, really? Oh, really? Come here, we got questions. Yeah, the houses are different. The house next door doesn't even face the road. It faces the side. The garage faces the road. Miss, how do you get the wrong house? This ain't no no-knock warrant bullshit. Or you got the wrong house and murdered the wrong people. I know it can happen. You get the wrong house, but when you carefully plan a kidnapping, are you going to get the wrong house? Or if you carefully plan a robbery of a gem show salesman, are you going to get the wrong house if you carefully planned it all? Or did you hire Joe Blow off the street, who may or may not know what he's doing? He may or may not know how to read. We don't even know. But let's send him. He's a good enough. He's a thug. He can do it. That's a good possibility. But the thug at the door has disappeared into the night. Right, Karen. She might have a stalker. And maybe she does know. Maybe she doesn't, right? Has she ever received any kind of communication? We wouldn't know that. The FBI is not going to tell us that, and I don't want them to. Y'all find Miss Nancy. You can tell me the rest in a minute. Once you find her, then I got a lot of questions, right? They got to keep some things close to the chest because whoever took Nancy is out there and they are watching. Unless they off themselves once they realize they didn't have a viable person to get ransom for because she too deceased. But I mean, I got the wrath of the world coming on me. Let me just unalive myself right here, right now. And he's laid up somewhere in a house nobody knows about with a body, and that's the guy right there dead. Like there's just so many, when we're trying to unpack a legitimate theory, I'll debunk my own theories sometimes, guys. I'll lay it out and I'm like, well, no, that don't make sense because of this. Well, that don't make sense because of that, right? It's not as simple as telling me, oh, that could have been a robbery gone wrong. I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. No, it don't. I think I'm a critical thinker, and I overthink these things sometimes. And then when I get tired, like yesterday, I didn't even have the like that. Where's this sliding door? Didn't even dawn on me that's the side of the building, the guest house, without the patio to it. And I was like, thank God somebody finally pointed it out to me. Like, there it goes. I'm gonna stop letting all the noise muddy up my thinking. It could be one email she never answered, Butterfly. Right? Or do y'all open every single, those of you who have the emails and all the things, do you open every single email? I don't even remember to check my email half the time. Every couple days, I'm like, oh yeah, I got a notification about some email. Let me go look. So if y'all are emailing me, sorry, I don't really get a lot of emails from people out here, but if you do, chances are I'm not going to see it for a couple days. I don't communicate through email regularly with anybody. I get a bunch of shit sent to me, right? That's about it. So, but if you're a celebrity and you might be receiving tons of emails, and if you're going to open one from people you don't know, and sometimes they don't even make it known that they're stalking you. They don't make it known they're obsessed with you. And if it's a disgruntled employee type situation, they're not going to make that known. Maybe they did in the past. I'm sure the cops have asked Savannah, y'all don't think she wasn't put through a lot of fucking questions? Exhausting questions, probably. Anybody ever had a problem with you at work? No matter how minor. Because let me tell you, it don't take much to set off some people in this world. It takes very little to activate somebody. Stephanie, they say no. But I know when Bill and Peggy Stevens, when Bill died, they could determine the time of death because the pacemaker. That's all I know. Now, that company, that the Blue Fly, they did put out a statement. I had it like a day or two ago, and we didn't even get to it. That they actually use that device on more than just that chopper. I think they even put it on dogs. Remember when they went back around Annie's property and was all walking around, and there was a couple of dogs? The dog had one attached because somebody over there near Annie's saw a suspicious pile of dirt and reported it. Turned out to be nothing. And I know who did that too. A kidnap for hire. Right, like the person at the door was hired, but who hired him? Because I'm not convinced the guy at the door was the mastermind. No, far from it. He was probably the hired thug, but who hired him? Now, if it's a stalker type situation, disgruntled employee type situation, are they going to go hire a hitman or a kidnapper? Are they going to do it themselves? We got to think about that part of it. See, I go. Okay, I can go to that theory, but now how do we implement the theory? Hey, Sarah, I've calmed down a little bit. I kind of got a little earlier, but I'm relaxing. I'm trying to relax. I want to discuss theories, plausible theories that make sense, right? And man, I can't with the simple solutions. Robbery gone wrong. Got the wrong house. I'm telling you right now, if I'm a high level crook and I'm trying to go into a house to rob something, I'm not going to steal the person instead of the valuables, right? So I'm just trying to unpack theories and get people to talk about them with me. And I don't know. Here we are. Here we are, people. Okay, if it's not a stalker, who would want to kidnap that old lady? Somebody she had a beef with from the church? Somebody she cheated in her little mahjong game with? Some old lady she pissed off at the grocery store because you're always in my fucking way? A person who had a problem with Nancy going back 20, 30 years? I'm going to get my son to come kidnap you today. Or in the middle of the night. Teach you a lesson, Nancy. So what plausible reasons would a person have to kidnap this old lady? We got to take off the TMZ letters because everybody here is convinced they're bullshit. I'm not, but we're all entitled to how we think. Not until the FBI proves to me they're bullshit. And I'm going to say it again, the FBI hasn't caught these letter writers. Why? Are they not good at their job at all? Shit, they just peeled back layers and layers and layers and layers of data with the help of Google. Maybe they should get Google on it. Just hire Google and we'll get it solved. What's the story about the gloves? Yes, Sarah, thank you. 2 miles away. So here's what they did. They got these gloves 2 miles away and they put it through CODIS, no match. So now all of the media is saying they're going to do IgG on that glove 2 miles away, Sarah. Am I the only one? You girl, you feel me, don't you? I know you do. So now they're saying that this weird DNA from the house is still undergoing testing before it can go to CODIS. Why? What's wrong with it? The sheriff come out and told Justin Lum there's a mixture of DNA in the home. Exactly, Sarah. Thank you. Because she knows. She unpacks the documents like I do. 2 miles away, going into a crime scene database is a problem. Running IgG on this random 2 mile away glove is going to be a bigger problem. Who wasn't in the trust? So do you take her out before she changes the trust? I'll show them all. Financial gain by a family member? Only way that's going to work is if there's a life insurance involved. In my opinion. Unless you just could not stand your mother-in-law because she constantly puts you down. My daughter could do better. We got to figure, because if we're going to make him the guy, why would he be the guy? Because is the mother-in-law putting you down constantly? And my daughter could do better. God, I just wish she'd listen to me. Or was there an inheritance due? If she fell off the face of the earth, are we going to get an inherit? Y'all go ahead and file for that life insurance policy with a missing lady. You go right ahead. Let me know how that works out for you. Thank you, Sarah. I've been screaming it. In the Idaho case, the main reason why the unknown DNA profiles were not entered into CODIS because of the location and context to the crime scene. So, during this Idaho 4 case, me and Sleuthy Goosey were in a large Twitter space discussing this very thing and the broad scope investigation of FBI. And what will that mean going forward if precedence is set in the Idaho 4 case? Ann Taylor was ready to go. She was willing to take up that fight, not just on behalf of Brian Kohberger, but on behalf of the system. And she wasn't quite wrong about some of that stuff. See, I don't do that where I hate all defense attorneys. Now, I'm going to give them credit where damn well credit's due. And God knows that woman gave it her all and went up against the FBI. If you don't believe me, go and pack all the documents in the Idaho 4 case. Ann Taylor's biggest battle was with the FBI. So now if the FBI is going to resort to 2 miles away is good enough, that's a problem for all of us. How do you know, Paul, that Annie was in charge of a trust fund? How do you know that? Do you see the documents? The power of attorney was given Annie. Oh God. Tom gave Annie power of attorney last year or whatever it was, and it was something to do with property. Nobody's proven anybody had power of attorney over a solid in the head old lady. Why would you need power of attorney over a lady they say has all her marbles just because she's 84? When I get 84, y'all don't chalk me up as dead and stupid, please. Think about my dad right now and his age. No, God forbid. Don't call my daddy stupid because he's elderly. That man get around probably better than half the people in this chat. Even though he can't hear a damn thing. The lady had 3 kids. And normally, in the state of Florida, you give somebody power of attorney over you, you cannot give them direct power of attorney over your finances and your medical. You know why? Because you might off that person to gain financial means. So you have to have separate somebody over your finances and somebody else over your medical. So when you got proof that they were all of that, you heard it on the news. I've not heard that anywhere on the news. And I've been following this case since the day it happened. We've got a bunch of shows in the books. I've not heard anywhere confirming anywhere that that's the case. Yeah, Danny, she didn't need a power of attorney. Look, if my mama needed a power of attorney because she couldn't make a good decision, she doesn't need to even live by herself at that point. Simi Sharp, my mama's 84 and she's just fine. She's fine as wine, ain't she, Simi? Don't come at Simi's mama. She probably got something for you. If you don't think it's directly related to the family, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Opened up the conversation. If it's a kidnapping, but it's got nothing to do with the family, so they had a problem with Nancy. Yeah, my grandfather died of Alzheimer's. I was holding his hand when he drew his last breath. I'll never regret it. I treasured that time with all my heart and soul. I know all about it, right? You have to do what you got to do. That was not Miss Nancy's case. So if it was somebody kidnapped Nancy, but it has nothing to do with their feelings about a family member, why would they do it? Are they mad at Miss Nancy? Yeah, we've seen the documents where Tom gave Annie the power of attorney. We've seen it with our own eyes, right? Thank you, Simi. We try. We are willing to talk about the stuff that's out there, but we try to express that's not facts, right? They're out there pointing fingers at all of us. Y'all are just out there doing. I don't care what any of them talking heads say about us on the internet. I really don't. I haven't in a long time. Shit. When did y'all start listening to the talking heads on the news again? I remember all them years ago we were warned they were fake news. I listened. I'm like, okay, I don't trust none of you fucking fake fuckers. And y'all just sitting up there polished and pretty and talking smack anyway. But now we're the bad guys because of a couple of bad apples. Shit. What was that dude that used to head up the evening news? He got caught for plagiarism. Bunch of bad people out there at social media and mainstream. I'm a little bit tired of that argument too, right? Right, Karen? 91 years old and still getting it. There you go. Works out 4 days a week. Holy shit. What am I doing here sitting in this chair? I'm gonna have to get up later and exercise now and be like, look, that 91-year-old lady can do it. I can do it. Damn it, man. Oh, TC. Dude, you need to drop me a line. Offline. Oh, goodness. I'll be getting Keith up here soon, guys. We're working on it. We're working on it. He a busy man. There's a lot going on in these streets right now. So that's a whole other story I don't even want to get into at the moment. My God, am I slightly entertained? Maybe a little. Yeah, I'm a little over the sources too at this point because they all have them. We know that. We've seen it play out for all these days, and they're just wanting us to all know that their source is better than the other person's. But what if it's the same source running around telling all y'all this different shit? What if the source is Nanos? Nano, in a little email. My name is really not Sheriff Nanos. I'm your anonymous source. Could you please not be mean to me today or the family? Don't be mean to the family because I'm telling y'all, people are still being very mean to Idaho 4 victims. And Brian Koberger said he did it. And for those who think he didn't do it, why would he say he did? Because the big bad government hiding him out. And even Ann Taylor can't fight it. Okay. No, Sarah, I did not. Should we? Is it relevant to what we're talking about? You wouldn't have said that if it wasn't, right? Or something to do with it. I'll have to check into that. Who is it? Okay. I haven't watched a trial since Karen Reed because, my God, that was a long, painful thing to go through. And I streamed it. Oh, boy. Made me rethink if I ever wanted to stream another trial again. There's a few trials out there going on that I check in on here and there, just whatever, but I haven't really watched any in a long time. I don't know, Paul. There are certain people on the internet who's questioning that as if they would as if they would make a different choice. I feel like the only thing she didn't have was a good alarm system. Otherwise, she was fine. Because I'm telling y'all right now, my dad is strong and independent. When that conversation comes, it ain't going to be an easy one. Nancy, by all accounts, had all of her faculties and could walk on her own. She just needed a cane, probably to help balance. So I don't see anything wrong with Nancy living alone when her daughter was 10 minutes away. Could she have had a better alarm system at the house? Maybe, but it's not my call. It's easy to judge, right? I mean, it's just so easy. Yeah, I think the family might know more than they're saying. I think they're probably getting told a whole lot more than we are. And Savannah's not talking to the sheriff. And the sheriff can sit there and tell everybody on the damn twits in these little weird ass interviews, well, Google says, Sheriff, we'll do the best we can. Sir, you didn't talk to nobody at fucking Google directly. The FBI did. Kash Patel said so. In partnership with our private sector, we served a lawful warrant on Google. When I already know Google don't like your broad scale warrants. They just don't. That's why they say you need a warrant. Because we retain so much information on our people. 40 names and 40 names. 40 names and pictures. But he's going to sit up there and tell everybody on these little press tour yesterday, Google told me, well, Sheriff, will do the best we can, but we don't think we can do anything. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Thank you, Forrest. Until I can't get to the toilet and the fridge, I don't want anybody babysitting me. I'm stubborn, and I think Nancy was too. Yeah, we haven't heard that. We were told immediately, no dementia. She didn't just wander off. Obviously not, because there's a masked man at the door. So can we not sit here and tell this old lady she didn't need to live alone anymore, that her head wasn't on right? Because I see a masked man at the door there to take her out of her home. Now, don't you think that family has sat there and said to themselves, oh my God, we could have done more to protect Mama? But did they ever think there was a real threat against their mother? Maybe they should have a little bit with all the crime in the area. But Nancy's doors were solid, man, and probably locked up tight. And we see no forced entry. So now I got to figure out how this guy got in there. And did he have access to a key where he made a copy of a key? Because if we're going to put the family in there, if somebody gave the guy at the door a key, who the hell would have done that had access to a key? We don't even know if there was forced entry or not. They go back and forth about it and back and forth. Did who throw the sketch in there? I don't pay attention to that stupid sketch. It was not an official release by the media or from the FBI. Is who putting it in there? What do you mean? I've seen that sketch now with a bald head too. Like, what are y'all saying? He shaved his head to disguise himself? We don't even know what kind of hair he had because there's a freaking balaclava over the hair. I guess the artist did that just in case. But a lot of good, their little sketch is done. They still haven't found the culprit. Nobody recognized her sketch. Hell, nobody recognized the bridge guy to this day. Look how much that video was put out there. Notice the gate. Notice the guys down the hill. Someone's going to know this guy. I'm sitting there thinking, shit, I don't even know where y'all got that video from. In the middle of the woods, was there a trail cam? And is that guy long gone? Long fucking gone. Where's your nearest interstate? Oh, Hoosier Heartland Highway's right there. Would someone know where that park was if they didn't live there? Just happened to be driving down the road. Oh, I'm going to get off and take a piss. Oh, look, 2 girls. And hightailed it out of the state. So nobody would recognize Bridge Guy because he didn't live there. But it turns out he lived there for 5 solid years. While the video is being plastered everywhere, nobody recognized the man's gate, clothes, or nothing about him, even though he worked right there in the CBS in the tiny town America, where they all seen him every single day. But nobody said, hey, Rick Allen could be bridge guy. So their sketch has been useless, right? So sketch away, Bubba, sketch away. Draw all you want to. Hey, Shannon, welcome in. Well, so, thank you for calling an amazing channel. I'm just a normal person like y'all with a lot to say and a lot of thoughts. Sometimes I come off a bit aggressive and I don't mean to. There's two of me in here. Y'all give me grace. I don't mean like that I'm a crazy person. I'm just a Gemini. I'm always battling myself, especially with theories. And I'm stuck on, oh, I'm not stuck on anything. I'm trying to look at it with an open mind, and I know enough to know there's a very good possibility somebody with a problem with Savannah took that lady. Stalker, pissed off, disgruntled worker somewhere in the NBC place. Maybe it was a janitor, and they felt like she treated them like shit. She didn't appreciate them enough. Oh, damn it. Somebody at my door again. Hold on. Lord. Okay. Sorry about that. There's a very good chance they could pick a lock, Butterfly. Very good chance. It's not, these criminals have their tools of the trade, right? Hell, I know a guy, I know of a guy back in the 1970s, now before cameras and advanced everything. There's a little bar down in town. He comes up to the drive-through package window. He opens it. He climbs in, wearing a Batman suit, robs the place, and then tells them all, when the cops get here, tell them Batman was here. Right back out the window he went. But that person could also pick the fuck out of locks. But that was 1970 something, right? Looks like Nancy had regular deadbolts and locks on the door. Good possibility they did pick it. 40 minutes on the property, Butterfly. Paul, if we get the back door may have been unlocked, but is Miss Nancy the kind to leave her doors unlocked? We don't know that. We've had that, we were talking about earlier. I'm not that person. I'm going to make sure all doors are locked. I do it every day. And before I go to bed at night, I make my rounds. I'm a single lady. I do not need a man to protect me because I'm smart enough to know I need to go lock all the doors and have something nearby me in my room in case a masked man comes in the night. And I check the thuds in the night as well. Because I've had 2 cases now back to back where there was a thud in the night and nobody checked on. So we should be learning things from these cases we cover and good takeaways about protecting ourselves. 40 minutes is a long time to be on the property, so what were they doing? Now, if they're in there to essay, but when you discover how old your victim is, are you going to go through with it? Some of them will. There's been cases here where elderly women have absolutely been essayed, but they weren't stolen from the property. They were left there. Now, if you essayed your victim, what's going to be on that victim now that might get you in trouble later? Be the only reason you take the victim. I can't think of another logical explanation to take her unless I left my DNA on her, inside of her. Without getting graphic, y'all know, y'all grown-ups, y'all know how it works. That would be the only reason an SA individual would have taken the whole person. Now, are they a serial SA assaulter? Are they taking all of their victims? Another door opposite the back door. What do you mean? On the back of the house. There's two blue doors back there. I don't know which one you're referring to, Butterfly. We don't know, Paul. That's the thing. We're trying to figure that out. Like Butterfly suggested, did they pick a lock? Okay. Did they have a key? We don't even know if there was forced entry or not. It doesn't appear that there was. If you look at the doors with your own eyeballs, the sheriff won't tell us forced entry or not. But I see no damage to any door. There's no broken windows. So how did they access the home, right? Because that it may not be huge for us to know right now, but it's huge for the cops to know. They have to know how the individual got in there. In the Koberger case, that backslider was not locked. He just slid right on in. And I don't even know if it had been locked, I think that door would have been easy for him to pop open. I can't deal with sliding doors. So did the person have a key? Did they pick a lock, or was there actual forced entry? The doors just don't look damaged, like kicked in, knob busted, lock busted. I don't see that, and I've seen the doors. Only one I can't see is the one over there at the patio at the front of the house that appears to be attached to a master bedroom. Sarah, the ransom stuff, TMZ, the original ransom letters have never come back. Those people have never come back that we know of. Now, TMZ's received several letters, 4, maybe 5 now, since then, claiming we know where she's at, or we know who took her, look south of the border kind of thing. And then TMZ came out, was it yesterday? And said they weren't going to talk about this anymore. They weren't going to give, but that changed their mind today. So apparently they have received another letter, this time saying something about the media, and people here all believe it's a bunch of BS, but I'm going to go review it later, because as an investigator, we should be reviewing it. If I chalk it up to nothing, I could be letting the killer get away. Or killer, shit, I'm used to killers in this world. I could be letting the kidnapper get away by ignoring those letters. Could. I'm not naive. I understand this could be a weirdo on the internet, but the weirdo hasn't been caught, because that tells me the weirdo's probably not in the U.S., because we just can't walk across the border and arrest them. If they were here in the U.S., would they have been caught as quickly as Cali guy? Are these just real smart hackers that are playing a game and hid themselves so well they can't be found? Very good possibility. But find them, because you don't do that shit in a case like this. Apparently there was nothing taken from the home. The backpack was stuffed when he got there. We don't know what with, but it's definitely full. So where was he going to put where are you going to put your loot if your bag is full, right? Well, I've heard people say, well, maybe he's got 15 more bags stuck in there. Let's think about that for a moment. I'm going to pull out my knapsacks out of my backpack. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fill them all up with her goods, and then go out the door like a burglar in the night, carrying all these little bags out. The locksmith situation. People assume that was locksmiths out there. These vehicles had no signs on them at all. Did one of them YouTubers get in their car and follow them people back to their work location and determine they were locksmiths? People are assuming they could have been locksmiths. Now, say they were. Why would they need to be on the property? Why do you want the locks changed? They weren't there long. They were not there long. They didn't appear to go to the front door and change anything. I didn't see video of them changing locks at the back doors. Now, if the family is convinced someone had a key, maybe send a locksmith out to change the locks. But I didn't see them doing that. They were there, what, 10 minutes, the report said? Big black case in their hand, suitcase looking thing. They go in, they're inside the home. Then they come out and leave. They weren't even there long. So I'm not convinced they were locksmiths. That's what people are assuming. Or that's a guess, right? They're guessing as to who they were and what they could be doing. So, Joy, I do too. I believe there is more than one person involved. Especially now, maybe, because if you're a disgruntled employee or ex-employee or whatever, somebody with a beef with her, the more people you pull into it, the more problematic it becomes. Kind of like the Idaho 4, it's all those frat brothers. Well, here's the thing. It could be, say we got 10, 5, 4. After that happened, and all the pressure that was going on behind that case, you don't think one little boy was going to crack to his mama? Mama wasn't going to notice my boy's acting weird. I'm going to press him as to why. Out of the 4, 5, 10, whatever, one would have cracked under pressure. So the more people you pull into your scheme, the more of a chance you got of somebody. Now, go back to the letter writers from TMZ. Was he a part of the original scheme and got double-crossed because the original letter writer never reached back with proof of life because they can't? And this guy's like, I'll show you. I'm going to get my money anyway, and I'm going to tell him you did it. That's plausible to think could have happened. We don't live in a world where everything's black and white and so simple that it's easy to resolve, right? And I encourage y'all to go back and listen to past kidnapping cases. Or, y'all know who Patty Hearst is? Funny how when I brought up Rebecca Schaefer days ago and the possibility, now the mainstream media is also considering it. Because what are we left with? They don't. Okay, so the timestamp. Somebody out there put out a blurb that it was 2:12. We know that a camera captured motion at 2:12, but we also know a camera went offline at 1:47. Nobody knows exactly what time that guy was on that front porch yet. They removed the cameras off of the guest house for that reason, to get the serial numbers so they can retrieve the video. Who operated those cameras? There was like a little solar panel up there with each camera. Was it just a watching camera? Those cameras are super confusing to start with. The fact that the cops let them up there for so long before they got them, including the FBI. That's just weird. I'm still going back and reviewing footage from the very early days to see if those cameras were ever there to start with. You think her arm was waving back and forth with droplets? Her entire arm was black. My dad bruises easily. I do too. It don't take much for an elderly person to get bruised from one end of their arm to the other. You could bump against the dog or bump against the counter. I can look down and go, where the hell did that even come from? When did I do it? That bruised up arm was before the crime, right? Now, if you look carefully at the blood on the front porch, there appears to be a cough that happened. if you know anything about blood spatter and what blood drops and things of that nature. You can see it. In fact, Joe Scott Morgan points it out as well, and a couple of other forensic people do. That appears to be a cough expirating the blood. Now, my problem is, how close to that porch was Nancy's face when she coughed? I think she might have been in close relation because of the way it looks. Was the blood coming from her nose? Did she spontaneously get a nosebleed? Some people did. My sister used to get them all the time for no reason. Stress can trigger it in some people who may be prone to them. There's also the good chance that Nancy's like, I'm not going out of my house willingly. You're going to have to kill me. And struggled. And did her nose get, something happened and she got injured? It's obvious, we see that. But the drops are straight down from above, except for that one cough pattern. There's a couple of spots where there's a little smear, but there's no footprints or anything of that nature. And I'm one of the ones that looked at 2,000 photos in the Idaho 4 case. In fact, they finally put their unredacted ones back up, and we'll get to them when we resume our members only series, because like I said, that dude ain't going nowhere. Tracy, you know what I'm talking about then. It's some people are prone to them, right? And Miss Nancy being on certain medications, maybe possibly blood thinners and things like that. The thing with the elderly person, especially on blood thinners, if she was, you're going to bleed super easily. It doesn't take much to trigger that. A scratch, a bump, just to break the skin a small amount can trigger a lot of blood loss in an elderly person. Like, my dad has to keep these first aid kits all over the place. We're like, Daddy, put this in your truck, put that on the boat, put this here, put that there. We got him covered because we know how easy it is for him to do that. And we don't want to make him feel old and ridiculous. It's part of life. It's human evolution. It's what you go through when you get older. I promise you, if people got me chalked up to being dead in a few years just because I'm a certain age, I'm not going to be happy about it. Where did you hear that, Paul? Because it's about fucking time if that's true. If that's true, please tell me where you saw that report. On the news? On Twitter? Because they should have been talking to them a long time ago. If you want the honest, the truth, as close to the border as they were, and the fact that they are looking at Hispanic people, they just now got to the border. There's a lot of stuff the FBI has been doing that we're just being sourced out by sources. The brother-in-law was the prime suspect. I'm sure he was in those first few days. I'm sure of it. So there you go. That's easy to fix, right? Mike posted it. All right, let me go look. Thank you, Butterfly, because y'all know me. I don't like to just be told something. No, tell me where you saw that at. We don't roll like that. No. I haven't even bothered to look at Twitter since early this morning because I'm like, what the hell are these goofy questions all over the Twitters about? Let me get to Mike's post. So here we go. We're going to have the leaks are coming in today. The sources are rolling in today. It's par for the course, right? Wow, that's a bad joke, sir. But okay. I thought you had more. Wow. Some people are showing their true colors, and I'm paying attention. Brian Enton posted 17 minutes ago. A federal law enforcement source tells at Libby Dean The FBI has contacted Mexican authorities in connection to the case. The sheriff, good fucking Lord, the sheriff, sorry, Jesus, the sheriff has said there is no evidence she's in Mexico. So there's none that she's not. Brian, why'd you even put that in there? Or you're throwing shade at that. Never mind. I know what you're doing. He threw shade at you, didn't like your reporting. You're like, yeah, well, the sheriff says there's no evidence in Mexico. I don't blame you. Okay. But the FBI apparently is telling, who's Libby Dean? Let me see if she's posted it. I'm on her page now. Oh, she's a political person? So she might have an FBI source or two. I don't see her directly posting that onto Twitter, but I'll take Brian's word for it. So if they're looking toward the Mexican border yet, they should be. So that was a Brian Enton's post, y'all. I didn't see Mike's. I didn't even go that far. Hold on. I got to read something here. Okay, so there's Mike's post that was sent to me, and he's just said the same thing that Brian has said about. So Mike Ruiz on Twitter is where I got this from, and as well as Brian Enton. The source confirms FBI has contacted the Mexican authorities in connection. Are they over there showing those 40 pictures and 40 names? What's our lead to get? What are we asking border agents and the Mexican authorities? Hey, keep an eye out. So that tells me FBI might be taking TMZ's bullshit a little bit seriously. Just a little bit, tiny bit. Oh, seriously, this guy? Hold on. Because I'm about over that guy right there. Okay, I can't. I'm not putting that up there because I don't know where they got that information. I got to do more research on that. Why would this neighborhood be under surveillance for months? Okay, if it's under surveillance for months, they weren't there the night Nancy was kidnapped. Let's think that through real quick. Like, sources are telling me that the neighborhood was being surveillanced for months prior. By who? And Nancy's car had a tracking device on it? Lord, we don't even know if the old lady drove. She Ubered. Remember, she Ubered, guys, to her daughters when she had a car sitting in the garage. So why would she not drive her own car 10 minutes away? Because she knew it had a tracking device on it. I don't know. That guy's post, I've been gauging that shit for 2 weeks now, and I'm telling y'all, we got to get, when you start looking at somebody, pay attention to all that they're saying and doing. That helps you figure out if they're full of shit or not. Right, Tricia. Who was surveilling the neighborhood? The cops or the bad guys? How do they know that? We're hearing nobody's got anything on cameras anywhere. It's dark, no lights, scary, dangerous neighborhood I'd never live in. But we got surveillance going on for months? By who? The bad guy? Because after November 2025 and Savannah released that video coming home, the Gem Show comes up 3 months later. Were they surveilling the area for 3 months? Because I think the Gem Show would have been the perfect fucking cover. to slide into town with the literally thousands and thousands of people from other countries also in town for the major 71st annual gem show. In fact, I need to cleanse my crystals under the next full moon and get all the bad energy off of them because I need them to go to work for me. I'm not sleeping good. My amethyst is my smoky core. I guess, oh man, when's the next full moon? If y'all don't know, set your crystals out under the full moon to cleanse them. And if you're not into it, fine. I love to sit under the full moon and cleanse my soul. My favorite thing to do. Staring at the full moon like a lover. If you know, you know. It's time for a cool change, my life song. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Okay, wait, let me go back. Damn, I saw some beautiful pieces here. Whoa, that's the wrong button. Whoa, big time. I'm like, girl.
A crystal aviary. Okay, I'm talking with Arthur from Style Art, and they're at the Pueblo Gem Show every year with the fantastic birds made out of exotic stones. Arthur, what are these parrots made out of?
So the birds are made with rose quartz, blue onyx face with garnet eye, obsidian beaks with gold-plated 18-karat feet.
And the tail feather?
Yes, and the feather is blue onyx.
So this is the first one, Arthur, I've seen at your show that has actually a water feature in it.
Yes, it is.
It really looks cool.
I had a feeling, Simi, I could tell some things, girl. I could tell. I don't use the salt that much. I prefer the moon.
And
if it's storming or something and I really need a cleansing, there's other methods, right? But I love the full moon.
Yeah, flowers comes with it.
Yeah, the flowers, it is the yellow stones, it is yellow calcite.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle it is amethyst right here.
Okay.
And these ones are serpentine.
Wow. And what would something like this cost?
It is $16,000.
$16,000.
$16,000. And the wealthy would, man, that's a beautiful piece though. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Quite a deal. Well, thank you, Arthur.
You're welcome.
Jade.
All jade. The green is jade. And the blue?
All is jade. Blue over here is turquoise.
I'm back. I was trying to show y'all a video, but I think my internet thingy ran out. But anyway, I lost connection. But that's a little bit of a look at the gem show. You can easily go to YouTube and search these videos out. And you can see for yourself how large this show is, how much planning goes into these shows, and how it might be the perfect cover to slide into town. because you're literally going to have a bunch of people roaming around the town, right? All at the same time. I just felt there's a lot of people to wade through, you know? And yes, I've seen the images of the people who stole from the gem show, but they're going to steal gems and then go steal an old lady. The shoes were a little, I'm like, wait, because I know in that video that I see that guy where everybody's trying to figure out what kind of shoes he wore. If you look at the very bottom of his shoe, of course, the image is black and white, so we don't know what color anything is. But those shoes, they're very light colored, and then they have a very black, dark bottom. Or I'm assuming it's black. The guy at the gym show, I glanced at those shoes and I thought, wait. And I went back and watched it again. Now, the other day, when a certain somebody was out there, boots on the ground, and he took off towards the underpass, and they stumbled across a bin of shoes sitting out there that were unzipped, and I could see that top shoe on the left. I immediately noticed the difference in that shoe and how it kind of looked like the one the guy in the thing was wearing. But that don't mean nothing. Shoes are shoes. Why is there a random bag of shoes sitting out in the middle of this fucking field? Well, it was a homeless camp area. But what better way to discard your murder suit than to give it away to a homeless person? Or did they find it? Did they find your bag of goods? You didn't bury it deep in the depths of Idaho? Johnson Bar Campground, maybe? Lolo Mountains, I don't know. I make jewelry. I haven't made a piece in a long time. I got a whole bunch of it right over there. I can make you a ring. I haven't made myself a ring in quite a while. I need to kind of get back to my zen, because I've kind of lost. I always do a lot of work in the winter. All right, guys, I lost connection again. We're going to probably just shut it down for today. Um, and we'll come back. If something breaking happens, right, like there's like real movement in the case, if there's going to rain down on somebody else's house again, or activity at Nancy's that's meaningful, anything like that comes down, I will go live and we'll have a show about it. But I also need to take the time to cipher through some of the stuff that's coming down. Does it make any sense? And then we can talk about it when we come back. Apparently these sources are going to be talking today. Hopefully they are looking toward the border, because they should have already been looking toward the border. You can't say that it's, hang on, what is this, Rachel? I don't know if I can present it or not. What did Enton have? Let's see.
We have confirmed that the FBI has been in touch with Mexican authorities in connection with the Nancy Guthrie case. So that is new. Libby Dean, who is my friend and a reporter with News Nation in DC, has confirmed through her federal source that the FBI has now been in touch with Mexican officials about the Nancy Guthrie case. I have been told all along by law enforcement sources here that this situation shows no signs of cartel involvement, that they're much more organized, that they wouldn't kidnap a 84-year-old woman, that they would have pulled the cameras, that, based on the video, it does not look at all like it's the cartel. But that doesn't mean that there's not someone who just took her to Mexico. I mean, it's very close to the border here where we are at Nancy's house, like an hour to an hour and a half away. So that's an interesting new development that we've now confirmed, because the sheriff has said they don't believe she's in Mexico.
Okay. The sheriff doesn't believe she's in Mexico. We don't care what he thinks personally. He wouldn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He wouldn't even know how to find his head if it fell off today. He'd like, somebody help me. Don't call the FBI. They don't like me. Sir, stop it. So let's hope that they are looking at because there's security cameras all over the border, right? I'm assuming Mexico's got security cameras. I know, and I didn't want to get off my cruise ship that one day because I saw that Mexican policeman down there and all those military fatigues and those giant guns he was holding did not appeal to me. I'm like, what are you doing down there with all them guns? I'm not getting off this boat and getting caught up into Mexico. No. I've heard things. I might not get out. So, are there cameras all over the border? I'm assuming that they probably are. Do they have a car in mind? Or are they out there showing them photos of possible suspects? Or have they honed in on a suspect a little more closely? There's going to be a zillion questions the FBI has for the border. But we also know from history, I don't know what the relation is with Mexico right now because I stopped following politics many, many years ago because I just can't. I don't know what the relationship is now. How well are they going to be willing to work with the United States? So we have to think about that. Hopefully they'll play fair and realize to keep your politics out of it. There's a little old lady missing, and we need to help find her, right? And then you got to go with all this extradition bullshit that gets caught up in the way as well. So hopefully I didn't mean to have that up again. So hopefully they can get some progress, with going that way, and it's at least worth checking, right? You have to. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to go find me something to eat and all the good things, get caught up on the news of it all, see if there's anything out there really making any sense. I'm going to go take a look at this one report that I saw that, what? I don't know where that guy got that from, but I'm going to go do some recon and see, because that's what I do. I don't take nobody's word for it. Y'all shouldn't take mine. I try to tell y'all where I see things and where we get it from and why we're discussing it. So again, thank y'all for coming in and being a part of the conversation because I really appreciate it. Sarah, thank you for coming in and helping me unpack a little bit of that Idaho stuff because I just don't think people quite get it. We know what we know, and this 2 mile away glove is going to be a huge problem going forward if they use anything off that glove. You better be able to tie whoever's DNA on that glove into that house, or you got a huge problem. And like I said, go ask some of these YouTube lawyers, and if they're going to be honest, they're going to tell you that. All right, you guys, y'all go be safe on them YouTube streets. Take all of it with a big ass grain of salt, including me. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Thanks for being here.
Thank you all for